Uh, guys, hello. I mean, I know it is kind of a boring workshop. Some of you already know what GenAI is. Some of you already know what ChatGPT is and all that stuff, and you're not aware that you don't want to know more about it. But trust me, this is going to be a fun workshop. So yeah, we can take it two ways. Either you can act like my chat, which I don't have actually, so I can be a low-key streamer here, or you can interact with me directly while unmuting yourself. So it's totally your call. Like Abhishek Jain chose the way for acting like a chat. So yeah, please drop a hi in chat, make some reactions. So yeah, make some reactions, drop a hi in chat, everything works. Okay, okay, we have two highs. Uh, more highs coming. Fine. Okay. So moving on. Let's raise our hands for those who know what GenAI is or who have any idea about what GenAI is. Like it can be ChatGPT, it can be Gemini, it can be anything. So like feel free to unmute and like enlighten us all about how what you know GenAI in general is. Like assume that I'm your cousin from 5 year old and I ask go out and ask you, can you explain what GenAI is? Today teacher was talking about GenAI, but I'm 5 year old, so I know nothing about computers, I know nothing about mobiles. Right, I'm just a preschooler and I got like people were discussing, teacher were discussing, this is the word I picked up today. So if you can help me understand from that perspective, it will be really, really, really grateful. Yeah, please feel free to
Hello,
unmute.
hello Siddharth.
Yeah, hi.
My name is Ankit, and if I am going to explain you what Gen AI is, it would be like making your imagination into a reality. That's what Gen AI is for me.
Okay, okay, okay. So again,
And
let's take it from the perspective of 5 year old. For a 5 year old, turning
so I
Lego blocks into car is also turning my dreams to a reality, right? And for like, you can be very, very, very frank and very, very open about it. I don't want this to be your another boring lecture where you just sit and be like कि हाँ हमने अटेंड कर लिया but कुछ मजा से नहीं आया, it wasn't informative enough. I don't want that. So feel free to reply, raise your hand, have some queries, answer any question you feel like. Perfect. Huh. So please guys turn the cameras on. It will be very fun to see laughing faces or the crying ones. We'll decide at the end, right? So if you can turn the cams on. Okay, anyone else want to give a short about explaining GenAI to a 5 year old kid? Anyone? Feel free to raise your hand or directly unmute and say it. Guys, don't respond to that.
It is for a 5-year-old kid. It is a like a machine that can answer all your queries about world,
Okay.
about your curiosity.
Okay, that's actually a nice answer. Uh, what about this? भाई और कोई ट्राई करना चाहता है इस 5 साल के बच्चे को जेने सिखाने के बारे में? Please, like again, guys, I'm telling this again and again. Let's make it informative, like not just informative, interactive at the same time. Information तुम्हें YouTube वीडियोस में मिल जाता है, right? You can understand what Gen AI is. You can understand how Gen AI works. There are thousands and thousands of videos out there to make you understand what prompt engineering is, right? And all that stuff.
Sandcastles,
Sandcastles.
sandcastles
Can you
like
elaborate? Can you elaborate?
like we take small particles of sand and then we uh, collaborate them into something meaningful, a house or anything like that. That can be
Okay.
called GenAI.
Okay, that's actually a nice way to explain to a 5-year-old kid. Like you pick small buckets and then you make a castle out of it. A castle can be of anything, can look like anything, which is like the final result that you want to obtain, right? Anyone else who wants to give a shot? Any of the new joinees? So, for those who have just joined, just a formal introduction. Hi, I'm Siddharth, and we're gonna have a little talk about GenAI and how you can leverage the power of GenAI to build your product from the scratch of the idea to the launch of it. Also, like if you guys are all in, we can do a creative hands-on. We have a creative hands-on as well, where you get to code using GenAI. Yeah, so we have that. That's why I'm saying कि थोड़ा सा interact करोगे तो फिर उसका response double मिलेगा. उसका response double मिलेगा तो फिर coding करने में मजा आएगा. Because you guys won't be writing any line of code, yet you will be able to generate छोटा सा mini game at the end of the today's session. That's gonna be your key takeaway. सिर्फ एक ही इंटरेस्टेड है, बाकी जनता क्या कर रही है? बाकी जनता कोड वाली नहीं है क्या? Uh, okay, give me a thumbs up for how many of your coders. We have 2 coders in house. That's it. Do we have any more coders in house? Okay, how many are there from other tracks? Can you specify them? Nasha Kanak, just Kiran, yeah. It's totally fine if I just started learning. That's totally okay. I'm just asking, have you ever coded? Yes or no? That's it. It can be as simple as HTML. It can be as complex as your Java, right? So my question is, have you ever coded? That's the question. React a thumbs up if you've ever coded. It can be C, C++, Python, Java, JavaScript, anything, irrespective. The primary question is, have you coded? So we have 3 hands up, like 3 thumbs ups. What about the rest? What are you guys? Himanshu, Varsha, anyone? Anyone can let me know, like, have they ever coded or not, or what they're actually into? That okay. So today's session the GenAI can be used to leverage a lot of stuff, right? I can leverage the code part. I can leverage how to market strategies. I can leverage how to make product roadmaps. So we can do all that part, right? But I need to understand where you guys are coming from. Are you guys a hardcore coder? Are you guys just from the sales? Are you guys more focused on the product part? Are you guys more into the roadmap structurization? Right. So we need to understand so that we can have a decent understanding of how things are working. Okay, this is gonna be okay, guys. So let's start with today's session, right? And today we're gonna see how you can actually leverage ChatGPT right? And it's going to be more of a hands-on session along with all the things that I can take you through. Just give me a second. I'll share my screen. Yeah. So guys, is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Perfect.
Yes, it's visible.
Perfect. 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 Okay. So again, welcome to Tech for Change Cohort 3. And yeah, so today's topic for the workshop is going to be identity launch, and we're going to see how GenAI actually works. So we have few examples, right? We can make real life case studies for ourselves on our own, right? Then we can so first we're going to understand what GenAI is, how it works, and all that stuff. Followed by how you can use it to develop ideas and how to plan your ideas. Then we can go to the implementation stage. We're gonna do ChatGPT based coding. Then you're gonna see how you can leverage ChatGPT to generate, but more not just ChatGPT, any GenAI tool out there to generate marketing strategies. Followed by how to get customer engagement and support. Then let's just say you are done from 0 to 1 for an idea. That is where you get the optimization part for, right? So how to optimize your product and how to make it a much better deal. Okay. So we're gonna see like keep our ideas as a basis itself and then move forward with it. Okay, so yeah, again. So basically, hi and welcome everyone. Today I'm very thrilled so that you can learn how to, leverage GenAI. And I'm Siddharth Satyarthi, tech mentor at NASCOM Foundation, and I'll be guiding you through this workshop. So again, first and foremost thing that we're going to look forward is the introduction to GenAI. Second is going to be the development stage, right? How to ideate and plan any of your products, right? Then you have like implementation stage where you code and test. Maybe there is some hardware, maybe some software solution you guys are building around, right? Third is marketing strategy. Once you have built a solution, how you're going to market it out, right? Once you have market results and feedbacks, then how you're going to optimize it to make your product far better. Okay. So generative AI, like, can before we move on to this next slide, like we go to the depth of the slide, can anyone explain what generative AI is? Like, let's not be a 5-year old anymore. Uh, let's move on to being adults. And can you explain what Gen AI is actually? Can anyone? Please go on. Okay. Followed by
Um,
Mohit.
G-
Yeah.
uh, GenAI is a language models or video models optimize which work on the training data and produce suitable results according to our needs.
Okay. Uh, what about you, Mohit? What is Gen AI according to you? Mohit.
Um, Hi, Siddharth. Sorry to interrupt you
Yeah.
in between. Can we make this session more interactive and can we all please turn on our cameras? Because Siddharth has recently joined, as he said, and he is going to be your tech mentor for the rest of the cohort. So, if possible, please make this session interactive. Thank you.
Yeah, Mohit. Yeah. You were explaining what Gen AI is. You're not audible. You're not audible. If you're trying to speak something, you're not audible. Anyone else who want to give a shot at explaining GenAI to everyone else? Anyone else? We have 10 more participants other than Akhilesh and me altogether.
Gen AI is AI trained model, AI trained on large set of languages like text, very much all around the information. So if we ask it from information, it generate the information for us
Okay.
from.
Uh, Anyone else who wants to give it a try? Guys, देखो यहाँ पे you're free to give out wrong answers. Please do understand that because this is not a college lecturer. I'm not a college lecturer. This is not a college lecture where you are gonna get scolded or anything else if you give out wrong answers. The wrong answers are okay. So Mohit said that GenAI means AI used to generate content like image, video, etc. That is not the limitation of it, but yes, somewhat and somehow we do end up using this. Yeah, exactly. There are multiple content generation that is happening because of it, because with the help of AI. That is what I'm saying. Ki yahan pe every answer is the right answer because here you all are here to upskill yourself, not in just one way. The initial part of you all being here in this cohort in the very first place is because you feel like that there is a lot to learn, which college cannot provide you directly out of the box. Right? You are in a great college, you are very much into it, but again, you do realize that everything has some limitations to it. Okay, so I'll just start my screen again and then we can look forward. Okay, so what is GenAI? Okay, so GenAI refers to an AI-based system that is designed to generate human-like content, right? So a human-like content is a content where you can write stories, where you can write poems, where you can generate images, videos, everything, right? So these are more like human-like content. So these systems use advanced machine learning algorithms, right? So machine learning is another part of stuff which you might have heard of or have been through. So AI and ML are the terms that goes hand in hand, right? So and they understand like and create various forms of data that include text, images, videos, and all sort of data, right? So Gen AI models that has been heavily popular are like ChatGPT, GPT-3, GPT-4o, Gemini, Perplexity, right? So these have been trained on the vast amount of data, enabling them to produce data that is actually relevant and creative at the same time, right? So yeah, this is what GenAI is in general. So if I look how GenAI actually works, so there are three major key components where you can use GenAI. There are several other components out there in the market where you can use GenAI, and there are no limitations. I was able to pinpoint three scenarios where like you can use GenAI on the go. So the first is NLP. You might have been to various websites. You might have been to various different type of sites where they have chatbot assistant, right? So they understand Amazon Web Service does not actually handling your queries directly, right? They're having a chatbot for that. How many of you have actually used a chatbot? Let's see. Give me a thumbs up for how many of you have actually used chatbot. We got one, two, three, four. That's amazing. That's the reaction I'm looking for, right? हाँ, so thumbs up करो, raise करो, बढ़िया है. हाँ, ये होता है थोड़ा बढ़िया interaction, right? Even if the videos are off, you can still interact if you're just reactive enough. Bad pun. So you do understand that the chatbot is not someone actually sitting behind, right? It is a pre-processed way in which you're going to have some questions, which is going to have some specific set of answer. If you choose any one of those, the chat will flow in some certain direction, right? This is how in general chatbot works. The algorithm behind chatbot is majorly known as NLP. Okay. Then you have content generation. So you can create blog posts, you can write poems, you can write stories, right? You can do creative writing, right? And all that stuff. Then other task is like you can write code, you can do data analysis, you can have a proper virtual assistant for yourself that is based out of chat GPT-4. Yeah, GPT-4, you know, allows you to have a VAs. Okay. And other than that, there are far more creative things that you can think of, right? So let's move on to the development and ideation stage. So from here onwards, it's more like I'm not going to refer the PPT as much, but we're going to do some live ideation using ChatGPT itself, right? So let's just roll back here. And yeah, let's go to the development stage and ideation planning, right? So I do have an example, let's say generate 10 unique app ideas. But again, we are working for social cause. So let's just say rather than having this, we're going to just so yeah, okay. Let's just say, let's take the example of you guys when you first heard about the, this cohort, right? Tech for Change. Let's just take that example where you just, our team has gone to your college and you have very first time you have heard about the cohort Tech for Change and you guys are very much interested. Okay. So let's just move on and do some following prompt engineering. So the name of cohort is Tech for Change. Can you help? So we are for this example, we are going to be focused on the app side of things, right? Okay, so yeah, let's just hit enter, and yeah, so here you can see that there are 10 ideas, right? So you can say accessible education, mental health support, environmental sustainability, healthcare access. Okay, let's just take it with you guys itself. So what idea do you think is a good idea? Drop in the chat the number. You have all the 10 ideas there, right? You have all the 10 ideas there. So drop a number in chat. Which idea do you think is worthy to work around with? Or wait, let's just get it in bullet format. Okay. Let's just zoom out a little. Yeah. So these are the 10 ideas that we just generated. And which idea do you think is worthy enough to which SDG? Do you want to change the idea? We can do that as well. Uh, okay, we have twos, we have threes. Which idea do you think is worthy to work on? Uh, if you want, we can generate 10 new ideas. If that's something you're looking forward to, you can do that as well. So that you can really understand, like, yeah, okay, mental health support. Two, we have two for twos. Any one more? Any vote in? Okay, we have six, we have three, we have two. Anyone else? We have three people saying three different ideas. So I just need one more contender to vouch for any one of these ideas, and then we can move forward. Anyone, anyone. Uh, Akhilesh, even if you feel like pitching in the number for them, please. Any one of the ideas that you feel like is a good number to work around for this session.
For me, maybe environmental sustainability or mental health. Any of these.
Environmental sustainability, that's number three. Okay, so we have two for number threes. So okay, so let's go with number three itself. Okay. So, okay, so the very first thing that we want is we want to have an idea, right? Like what exactly are we building? We got the problem statement that we want to build around environment sustainability, but what around it exactly, right? So this is an idea that they gave, but maybe you're not satisfied with it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go and say that, okay, so let's just generate five different ideas, right? Which are based around like the same idea for the sustainability. So we have the personal carbon tracker, sustainability life challenge, green business certification. Okay, so let's just say we like the first one very much. Okay, so let's just say, okay, now to generate a product roadmap, we have two ways to go around it. Okay, one is like we can generate just the product roadmap, or we can do it in a greater detail so that you can understand like, okay, what steps to take, when to take, and how to take. Okay, so can you help me create a detailed? Yeah, so this is something we want, right? So this is what planning looks like, right? So let's just say I took up the first idea, which was the personal carbon tracker, and we have done the planning part of it, right? So again, we have like how to do market research, how to do requirement analysis, how to design the phase, right? Then development phase is there, right? Then there is testing and QA. Then there is pre-launch and marketing. Then there is a launch phase, right? And then there is like post-launch and improvement as soon like how will you go on and improve your application, right? So now we have to move on and see like how market research and ideation works, right? And all this stuff. So let's take one by one, right, as to understand how this is working and how you as a student can work around it. So everyone is with me up till this point. Is everyone with me? We got one thumbs up, two thumbs up, three thumbs up, four thumbs up. Oh, we got a first reaction. So, okay, let's move forward. Okay. So let's just say now that I have a basic rough idea, you can either directly copy from here or you can just, take it out, right? So let's just say, uh, let's just do a market research and ideation. Okay. So I'll write down, let's dive into every step. So, okay. So while giving out prompts, uh, to either ChatGPT or Gemini or any other Gen AI model that you're using, make sure that the prompts are as elaborative as possible and as like simple to understand as possible, right? So I said like the first thing I want is let's dive into everyone, uh, okay, everything one by one. Right, that's the first thing I want. Ideation is what we were doing up till now. Let's create a market research plan. Okay, so ideation is something we just did, right? We picked up ideas, we picked finalized this idea, and this was the roadmap for it. Now we have to see how the market research is going to work. Now, me coming from an engineering background, I have no idea what marketing is, how to do it, right? But using the power of ChatGPT or generative AI in general, I can actually see and analyze that how me coming from an engineering background can leverage this out. Okay, so okay, so it says what you can do is you have to define objective, identify the target audience, do a competitive analysis, do data collection method, do data analysis, and do reporting. Right. So you have to define objectives. How you're going to define objectives is understand the market landscape, what the target audience need. Okay. Competitive environment and all the other stuff. These are the goals that you need to achieve for defining your objective. Then to identify the target audience, right? Has even given you some demographics right out of the box. If you want, it can help you generate dummy data as well. But it has given you one example right out of the box. Then you have like competitive analysis, right? So it says your direct competitors are apps specifically focused on carbon footprint tracking. Indirect competitors are general sustainability app, fitness and lifestyle apps, right? Now you have to analyze the competitors. How we're going to analyze is the key feature of each competitor. Me being a core engineering guy, I have no idea how this works, right? But I can ask question, and until the point I understand it, each and everything of it till the core of it. Okay, so we have like two ways to do data collection. That is primary method and the secondary method. Primary research and the secondary research. Primary research majorly consists of your surveys. That is something that comes to you once you are into the product line. Then you conduct interviews, do some surveys, and study some focus groups. Secondary research is industry report, academic studies, online research, and all that stuff, right? So anything that you do by yourself, whether it is data collecting or everything else, that is a part of your primary research. Anything that you gather or understand from someone else's data, that is secondary research, right? Then you have data analysis. Once you have gathered all the data, you have to identify the pattern, trends, and correlations, right? And then there is like reporting and inciting. So it even gives out how to structure a report entirely, right? So this is like how you market it out. Has even given you a rough time implementation timeline, right? You can change it accordingly. So this is the very first part that we did. Okay. So also like the timeline is based around this 1 to 2 months, if my guess is right. Otherwise you can change that. Yeah. So it is roughly around 3 months. but if you want, you can wrap it up in 1 month as well. Okay. So let's just say I'm just done with the marketing research. Now I want the requirement analysis and planning, right? So okay, yeah. Let's move on to the second step and let's plan this out, right? Before I move any forward, how many of you have actually used ChatGPT to do your homework or any other stuff? So can we rely on AI for things like market research? No, you cannot rely on AI for market research. Market research is something that you have to do on your own. AI will help you understand, help you analyze what the result is, how the result is, and how you can process it. Market research, like primary research and secondary research, is something that you have to do as an individual. That is why every product is unique in its own way, because way they research the market is different. Person behind researching that market is very different. My thinking of market and your thinking of market may differ, even if you're building the same product. Anyone else having any questions up to this point? Any questions are welcome. I'll just have a quick break. तक सब क्लियर है? बहुत अच्छा पढ़ा रहा हूँ. Okay, that's just then unique case for you. What about our others? अच्छा किसके लिए ये पूरा नया है? Like who had no idea that you can ever use ChatGPT like this as well, or who has not even used ChatGPT in the like up till this point, or any other GenAI tool, not just GPT. Uh, अच्छा किसने पहले ChatGPT मतलब कोई भी GenAI टूल यूज कर रखा है? Give me thumbs up. Oh, that's actually very nice. Like other research tools. I don't feel very nice. Like you do have a rough idea on how to leverage not just GPT, all the other GenAI tools out there in the market. Better. Okay, you have some basic idea. Okay, who knew that any other GenAI tool can be used in this manner like we are using it right now? Like from taking your idea, from not having an idea to Prompt engineering is my thing. That's perfect, bro. Gemini, Bard, yeah. So okay, like you do understand the importance and significance of it, right? How you can take your idea from not actually being an idea, right? We got the idea from GPT itself. So from being actually clueless to having an idea, then moving to market research, right? Maybe develop it out as well. Claude is for usually for videos, if my guess is right, as much as I remember. Okay, so let's move on and do look into things, right? I have was beta tested for Snapchat AI and this Gemini. So that's actually nice. But it's fun to train these AI if you're giving random prompts, right? Okay. So Madhav, you do have a rough idea, right, how to leverage these AI. But like, do you have you had any idea that it can be leveraged in this manner, right? Like, let's say you have used Snapchat AI for pretending it to be your friend. That's very specific use case that Snapchat made it for. But have you used Snapchat AI to generate code or generate poems or anything like that? That is what the question is. Cloud AI is for specifically for videos, but have you tried something else from it? Right. ChatGPT is generally for content creation, but have you tried writing code, improvising on it? Like giving it out a random code and saying that, okay, help me find the errors for this code or fix this code for me. This is where the question comes in. Have you gone out of the way to leverage these AI platforms and email? Come on. Email it is the easiest task for any AI, even like so again, this is how you raise stuff, right? So let's move on and just let's just try to make our own product today, right? Okay, so for we moved to step two, right? So it says that you have to define your project scope, create user personas and user journey maps, feature prioritization, and create a project timeline. Okay, so let's just ask it to do all the stuff. So let's just name it phase two. So I'm just going to do a copy paste, right? So that we can actually understand how it is working. So define project scope. Let's just say I'm also a student, so make sure it is doable for college level students. Create user journeys, make the user persona and user journey. Feature prioritization also give out list of all features and create a project timeline. Okay, that's all what we need, right? So it gave us some tasks, right? It said key, how are you going to define the project scope, right? What are the tasks that you have at hand? But let's just say I don't even want to do that, right? So it will help me understand. Okay. So let's just say clearly define that. So what is the project scope? It came up with to an objective of mobile application to help users track their personal carbon footprint and receive personalized tips to reduce emissions. That is an objective, right? Then we have created a user persona, right? So we have environmental enthusiast Emma, who is 22, female, right? Then we have a tech savvy Tom, right? Then we have family focused Frank. These are the user journey maps, right? So again, I never knew what user journey is. I never knew what user persona is, but I got all of them, right? So this is the project timeline that you have. It created a roughly 12-week timeline for you. Okay. This is like one of the many perks of using AI. I don't even have to know anything and I can still get it. Okay. So let's move on to design. Okay. Now that I know that ChatGPT cannot help you generate images, right? I know that, but it can still give me ideas on how to use, how can I instruct my designer in ways so that it, he or she can come up with the design, right? So let's move on to the design phase. Okay, I'm going to, in bracket, I'm going to write phase three. Also make it understandable from two perspectives. One from a user side and other from the designer side. Let's just say I want some color scheme. So also mention how the app should be along with color scheme that should follow, right? So again, I know that we cannot do designing in GPT or most of the text-based tools, but yeah, this is something that we can create or help us understand how to actually move forward. Like you can see that it gives out primary color, secondary color, right? And it's given us timeline. So if I look at from my user perspective, so user expectations is an intuitive design, visual appealing, functionality should be clear, and accessibility should be there. From designer's perspective, it should be user centered. You have to create design considerations are there. User centered design, wireframe and mockup. There are some UI elements, some color scheme, right? These are some guidelines, right? This is an app design overview. How is your app going to look? Again, right? And these are some color schemes that is out there. Let's just say that it is suggesting us to use this primary color, this secondary color, this accent color, and most probably this background color, right? So again, it gives you a proper infographics of what color to use and why to use it, right? तो अभी तक यहाँ तक सबको समझ आया. Mohit says he have used it for instant white clip editing, and that's actually amazing. तो यहाँ तक सबको समझ आया, like क्या यहाँ तक सब मेरे साथ हैं? Is everyone able to get all the parts of it? We have one thumbs up. That's it. Two thumbs up. Three. Okay. Okay. So one way to go around it is like next is the coding phase, right? Obviously, we're not gonna code an entire app. So rather than that, what I have prepared for you is a chart thread that I've already prepared out, and then we can have a totally look into it, and we can understand how we can create. Like in this session, we're gonna make a simple game. I'm gonna just share that entire chart thread with you guys. So you can just copy the existing code. First, I'll show it out to you, and then you can like have a mess around with it. You can understand how prompts work, how the output is given, and how to fix that output and like add functionalities of what you want, right? I'll just share my entire screen. Hold on. Okay, so is my screen visible? So for this, we're going to use direct online compiler. We don't have to sign in or anything. So let's just say start coding, and it won't save. To save, you have to go out and log in and all that stuff. But for now, you don't have to do anything. Just you can look me working around it. Okay, so what we're going to try and build is a simple memory game where I'm not going to write a single piece of code. This start thread is entirely all generated. I'll just share it after the session is done, right? So you can have like a look on how to do prompt engineering and how to leverage that to generate code, right? So let's just say you're an intermediate level programmer tasked with creating a memory game for the workshop happening around the GenAI. Help me write the code for the same. Okay. So let's just say it gave me a HTML code, right? So I'm just going to copy it. I'm not even writing a single line. Okay. I'll just copy it and you see it says memory game. Okay. Then I have CSS. I'm just going to copy it again. I'm going to paste it. I haven't done anything up till this point, right? Now, if I go to the JS, it's the JS. I'm not even looking at the code, what it says and how it is, right? So this is the very first preemptive prompt that we got. And if I play around, I can play. It says that CNF is there, although the cards have flipped around, but CNF are still visible, right? So I can just mark them green. So this and this matches, this and this matches, right? A and A matches, F and F matches, B and B matches. Although we know that uh, everything is there, but there were multiple errors like you saw. Also, it says that, yeah, congratulations, you found all the matches, right? And I did not like the format of it. So what I did was I asked it to convert into emojis, right? Convert the text into emojis and make it more interesting, right? So again, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear everything out. Okay, so what you can see is things building up from scratch. That's all. You can just overwrite it and it will still work, but I want you to see things building up from scratch. Okay, so this is the memory game where there are some emojis, right? Then we have CSS for it. Again, it brings it to the middle, right? Then we have JS, which have some emojis we can see directly right here, right? So it is loaded. And yeah, it have already added some curve and everything for itself. And now it have, again, the issue is there, but the text have been replaced by emojis. And yeah, few things are better, few things are still the same, right? So, okay, yeah, this is, again, even the congratulation message now have emojis in it. Okay. So now I know that I need some sort of animation, right? So I need a countdown timer for 60 seconds in my game, and I want a game over to pop up, like the when the message is popping up, right? So it has just given out some us to JS, right? Has just given out some JS and some updated HTML. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just copy the JS part. Okay, and as regards to that, I'm also gonna update the HTML part. Okay. So you can see it says time remaining 60 seconds. The timer is already flowing. I'm not doing anything. The timer is already flowing. And yeah. The issue remains, but we have a timer now. Right. Again, it says congratulations, you have won and all that stuff. But yeah, time remaining 40 seconds, right? Also, okay, now let's say I want to have gradient, like the color are too dull for me. I want to have some gradient and I want to have some, animation. So I'm going to update the CSS. Okay, I'm going to update the CSS. The CSS is upgraded, right? Uh, the CSS is upgraded. Let's just see. Animations are there, right? Now it's not working. So we have a JS, updated JS as well, for flipping the animation and how it is working around. Right? I haven't done anything. I'm just copying and pasting. That's it. Now you see that if I unmatch them, it has already fixed itself. Right? The flipping is fixed. Now I'll have to actually remember where it is. Up until now, I was acting as a cheat code. Yeah. So it says congratulations again. Now let's say what do I want next? Add a gradient to the background and green gradient to the matching pairs. Right. So a simple CSS, just a simple CSS change. Right. Now you see this has gradient in it along with the change in background color and everything else. Right. So let's just say if I don't play the game, uh, right, let's just wait for this to run out and let's just see what prompt is there then. Right. In the meantime, let's just say add a restart button, make it gradient in color, and add the functionality for the same. Now, what I want is I want to have a restart button. Up until this point, I wasn't able to restart the game, right? So I want to have uh, a restart button, उसका updated CSS, and followed by उसका updated JS. Right. So we'll just have a look of one by one. Okay. So first, let's copy this. Let's just wait for 24 few more seconds to just get the game over so that we can actually understand that what is happening once the game is getting over. So it says time is up and game over. Okay. So let's change it. And you can see that it have a restart button at the end, which is not stylized. So we have the CSS behind it, right? I can see that the restart game has a gradient to itself. And now what we want is we want to add functionality to this as well, right? So this is the functionality that is there in JS. Okay, so now let's just wait and see. I'm just gonna scroll this up. It says 56, 55 seconds, and if I click restart game, it is there from 60 seconds again, right? So this is actually pretty cool that I haven't wrote anything up until this point, but still we have a fully functional game with us. Now the last part that I want is I don't like pointy borders, so I'm gonna make the boxes and button round, like square round to be very precise. So this is the updated CSS for that, and I just have to change the CSS, and yeah, everything is good to go. So you can actually see that. And voila. So yes, we just made one very perfect game using GPT without me writing any code, any of the code at all. So how was that? Like how many have you used GPT in this extensive manner? That's the very first one. Thank you. Okay, thanks so much. So yeah, uh, how many? Like, just give me a second. Yeah. So like we just made one super super big game, right? I'll just share everything with you right now. Just give me a second. I'm just gonna hand you over this start thread, right? Yeah, this is the chart thread for which you can have a look at how I prompted that out and how the prompts were generated, right? And other than that, I'll just drop the code pen and link as well where the game is hosted. Not like hosted, but yeah, you can just check that out. This is the code pen link where you can all, have a quick access to the game that we just made up. Okay, so we can skip the development part, like you just got an idea of how to do development for using GPT, right? So you just got a rough idea about that. And yeah, so there are just few things remaining, and let's just get them over with so that you can have a rough idea and understanding. I'll just share my touch screen. Okay, yeah. So we understood how the ideation and planning works, right? Like this is an example that I created out, how to do the planning. So let's just say you say, help me create a project roadmap for a mobile application development. So this is how you just prompt it out. This is one of the easiest way to prompt it out. Output can be anything with long answers to short answers, depending upon how well or how properly you prompt it out. Okay. Then let's just say you do some coding and testing. We just saw an example of coding, right? So you can create not just code snippet, you can create entire functionality of it if you are actually well versed in coding, right? So then you can do testing as well. So let's just say generate unit testing for the React component. If some of you are familiar with how React works, so you can actually run unit tests while generated from the GPT itself. Okay. Then, yeah, this is one of the interesting things where GPT helps a lot. So basically, let's just say you are done with your, uh, you know, you have thought of the idea, you are done with the development of it. Now you want marketing, right? How to get more clients into it. So Gen AI can like help quality content blogs, like we discussed in the initial post, right? So when we started out, we discussed how you can leverage GPT to not just GPT, any Gen AI solution to actually make blog posts, videos, texts, poems, and etc. Right. So yeah, this is like again, this is a sample output. You have to make it more. So there are multiple ways how you can leverage it out. There are multiple ways how you can trim it down, like it says, introducing a revenue stream, new project, all that stuff. So you don't have to keep it all high edge. You have to test out using several prompts to make it understand how it actually works, which suits better, which sounds better. That is why Gen AI is there, but a human intervention is needed. Okay. Something other than that, what you can do is like in SEO optimization again. Then you can generate some customer services. You can have some user feedbacks. You can see how to do this, like how to do these services, right? How to have customer service, how to do user feedbacks and all that stuff, right? And yeah, like there are multiple other stuff that you can play around with using Chat GPT or any other uh, you know Gen AI tools such as Bard, Claude. Like we discussed, there are a lot of them. That's it from my side, guys. Thank you. Any questions that we have? That's actually good.
Guys, if you all have any questions, you can ask or type it in the chat. Okay, we'll move forward. Thank you, Siddharth, for this valuable session on generative AI. I hope this session is knowledgeable for each one of you. And I just request you guys to take a minute out and kindly share your feedback on this. I'll just share my screen and you just scan this QR code and you can give your valuable feedback. Thank you guys for joining the session and hope to see you soon in the next workshop. I hope every one of you have scanned this QR code. Maybe you can thumbs up or say something so that I can know.